how can we trust it? When do you think we'll have clarity on this?
Maria, we're already aggressively looking at this. I think today's HPSC meeting coming out of intelligence will have greater information. But most importantly, I don't want it classified or bottled up inside a briefing room. The American people deserve to know this. The elected officials in New Jersey and across New England who have asked about this deserve to know this. And certainly for our own national security, we need to make sure that our adversaries are not learning tactics, techniques, and procedures of how we may or may not be doing drone testing here in the United States that they can exploit to advance their own weapon systems back home. As you just noted with China, that's advancing a very aggressive attack drone that has basically laser cutting capability to destroy other unmanned aircraft while in flight.
All right, sir, let me move on to the government funding deadline and your agenda. Yeah. You've got a deadline, or the government shuts down this Friday. The text of the continuing resolution has not been released yet. Have you seen any text on the continuing resolution?
Yeah, so this is the #1 priority, and one of the reasons we came back to D.C. early is so that Washington can start functioning a lot more like folks back home in Iowa, that we have a budget, you stick to that budget, you balance that budget, and you don't let things rack up $36 trillion on the nation's credit card. So as we move forward here, we want to set a strong table as House Republicans to make sure that both President Trump has what he needs to get started on the right foot on January 20th. But we also need to get certain things paid for. That's our troop payments. I was proud last week to have the largest troop pay included in the National Defense Authorization Act, 15% for our frontline troops. But we also need to make sure that we're moving forward with text that we can read. We got a briefing from the Speaker last night. We're looking to do the 72-hour rule so that all of us can look at the text that was included and then have a vote aiming for this Thursday.
Okay, so this Thursday, and then this CR is expected to fund the government until March 14th. Politico is reporting that the negotiations are being held up over agriculture and other potential add-ons, like extending expiring health programs and a bill to restrict U.S. investment in China. House Speaker Johnson said that he's still aiming to give lawmakers that 72 hours to review the final text of the bill before that vote, as congressional leadership is considering 2 reconciliation packages next year. I want to get your take on this because you've got a bill on the border as the priority. That's going to happen at the beginning of the year, hopefully passed by April 30th, and then you've got a separate bill on taxes at the end of the year. A lot of people are against this plan. You know, you heard from Jason Smith, the chairman of the House Ways and Means. He said, no, taxes need to be a priority, and maybe a larger bill, including border and taxes, should be formulated for early in the year. Even House Speaker Newt Gingrich was worried about this. He joined me Sunday on Sunday Morning Futures. Here's what he said. Watch this.
They need to have the Senate commitment to pass the tax bill by May 31st. To go to conference in June and to sign the bill by July 4th. Reagan talked into having his tax cuts arrive late. We lost 26 seats in 1982. President Trump was talked into taking up a bunch of other stuff, didn't get his tax bill until late. They lost 40 seats in 2018. Keeping the House is the biggest single challenge for the Trump administration. So if you work back from keeping the House, you have to have the tax cut bill and the deregulation bill signed into law by the 4th of July, so it's affecting the economy so well and so powerfully that people are really happy in 2026.
So, Congressman, what about that? If you wait till the end of the year to extend the tax cuts, it might not get done, and then you lose seats in the midterms, yes?
Maria, most importantly, and this is the promise that was made to the American people, we are going to pass an extension of the 2017 tax cut. We are going to pass the funding to make sure that we have border security. We're going to invest particularly in family farms like in Iowa with things like disaster relief, about $10 billion coming in, and things like E15 for energy independence. Most importantly, this has to be a methodical step. So I want to see this happen now. We've got 72 hours to talk about this, but make a plan with the Senate, and you're absolutely right. House has to be able to lead on this. We've already shown that we've been able to pass this in the House. Now we got to make sure the Senate gets across the finish line. Border, tax cuts, those are top issues for the president. More importantly, top issues for the American people.
So you agree the extension of the tax cuts could be done in the earlier package. You agree with that then?
I think we've got double options here. I would like to see it done as quickly as possible.
Okay.
The 2 negotiations go hand in glove, though.
Zach Nunn, good to see you. Thank you, sir.
Always good to see you, Maria. Thank you.